What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm MTG Budget, and today I'm going to build a deck with you from scratch. First, we'll pick a card to build around. Next, we'll make an initial deck list. And then we'll play some test matches. Win or lose at the end of each of those matches, I'll decide whether the deck needs an adjustment or not, and I'll explain my reasoning. And then we'll keep doing that until I think we have a functioning deck list. So, let's get building. So the first thing we need to do is to find a card to build around, and the most recent set is Avatar, and I haven't made a video for it yet. So I'm gonna find an Avatar card. All right, I think I've found the card that I want to build around. Sokka, Tenacious Tactician is 1 in Jeskai for a 3/3 human warrior ally with menace and prowess. It says, other allies you control have menace and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. So the first question I'm gonna ask myself about Sokka is, does Sokka win the game? Is he our win condition? And I gotta say yes, I think Sokka is the whole package. Sokka allows us to build a wide board, pump it, and give our board evasion through the menace. So as long as we have enough non-creature spells to cast with Sokka out on the field, we should just be able to win the game. The other thing I want to consider about Sokka is the fact that it is a 3-color, 4-mana legendary creature. So as we go to build our mana base for the deck, we'll have to be really considerate about whether or not we can get access to the 3 colors we need by turn 4. And we'll also need to think about how important it is to get Sokka out on turn 4, and whether or not it's worth the risk to run a full playset of Sokka and potentially break up our hand with multiple copies of a legendary creature. If I look at other Avatar cards in these colors, there's Sokka and Suki. This doesn't really synergize with Sokka, Tenacious Tactician, so I don't think I want to run it. I'm not really seeing any other Jeskai cards that really stand out to me. I think I'm just going to run the 4th copy of Sokka. For my budget decks, I only run a total of 4 rare/mythic cards total in a deck. So Sokka is going to use up all 4 of our rare slots, which means that from this point on, the rest of our deck will be common or uncommon cards. Normally, I would save mana base for last, but because Sokka is a 3-color card, I am going to start with the mana base. And our colors, because we're not running green, it makes mana fixing kind of difficult. So I want to see what options we have available. Perilous Landscape, definitely going to go in the deck. We can tap, sack this, search our library for a basic island, mountain, or plains card. And we can also cycle this for Jeskai. So this is an auto include. It's a no-brainer. Mystic Monastery doesn't seem that bad either. So I'm just going to stick with the Mystic Monastery and the Perilous Landscape, and then we'll adjust the ratio of basics later. Next thing I want to do is look up ally cards. We aren't casting Sokka until turn 4, so we should have 1 or 2 spells that we cast leading up to Sokka, and if they're ally creatures, that would just be good. They will immediately get the Lord effects from Sokka. Earth Kingdom Protectors, I think, is a must include. It is 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier ally with vigilance. It says, sacrifice this creature, another target ally you control gains indestructible until end of turn. If we're going all in on the Sokka game plan, having a free sacrifice creature that can give Sokka indestructible is kind of huge. So I think we need a full playset of Earth Kingdom Protectors. I think Invasion Reinforcement seems pretty good too. It's 1 in a white for a 1/1 human warrior ally with flash. It says when this creature enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. That seems pretty good. Getting 2 ally bodies is very nice. Next, I want to see if there are any firebending cards, because firebending says whenever this creature attacks, add X amount of red mana. This mana lasts until end of combat. That extra mana could be really useful for triggering the prowess effect of all of our allies. It doesn't look like there are a lot of options though. Not for allied creatures that also have firebending, which makes sense because, you know, the firebenders were kind of the enemy. But I'm liking the idea of this Loyal Fire Sage, 3 mana 3/3 firebending 1. You can pay 5 mana to create a 1/1 white allied creature token. I like it. I think I want to try out this card. I need more wild cards. We're gonna save and exit. All right, I just opened 30 more packs. That should give us enough. Oh yeah, now I have 15 uncommon wild cards. I got plenty. Unlucky though, in those 30 packs, I did not open a single Loyal Fire Sage. This is still going to cost me 4 wild cards. That's whack. But we're going to run, I think, a full playset of Loyal Fire Sage. So far, our deck is pretty heavy in white. We have a splash of red. So I want to see if there's any blue ally cards that seem good, just to try and keep our ratios a little more even as far as the mana base is concerned. Master Paku is pretty interesting. It's a 2 mana 1/3 prowess. If this is out when Sokka comes down, it will have double prowess, and that's kind of cool. He is a legendary though. Grand doesn't seem bad. 1 mana 1/2. Whenever it becomes tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, as long as there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. Both of those seem pretty good. Oh, actually, first time flyer. I saw this card earlier, and I think this one could be pretty good. It's a 2 mana 1/2 flyer. This creature gets +1/+1 as long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard. I think I want to run first time flyer. I think getting a flying creature would be very beneficial to us. Now from here, we need some lessons and we need non-creature spells that are cheap. So that way we can try to utilize the prowess effect that Sokka gives as much as we possibly can. Accumulate Wisdom seems pretty nutty. It's 2 mana instant lesson. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Put each of those cards into your hand instead if there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. So if we have 3 lessons in the graveyard, this is 2 mana draw 3, which is kind of nutty. And I know for sure I want to run Abandoned Attachments. 1 in a hybrid mana, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. That one seems good. Seems like it'll be useful for us trying to find Sokka. Same with Accumulate Wisdom. I'm just going to craft a full playset of this. This card seems really strong. Run that. All right, so now we're a little bit low in the red department. Some cheap removal seems good. Firebending Lesson. 1 mana instant, deal 2 damage to target creature. If the spell is kicked, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. Kicker is 4. I think a full playset of that seems good. We have 4 card slots left remaining in our deck. 50% of our deck is red, 50% has blue, and 38% has white. We have 20 creatures and 12 instants. I think I'm just going to go with more removal. I think I'm going to add in 3 copies of Combustion Technique. 1 in a red for an instant that says, Combustion Technique deals damage equal to 2 plus the number of lesson cards in your graveyard to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. I think 3 copies of this and then 1 copy of Iroh's Demonstration would be pretty good final additions, at least for our initial deck list. Iroh's Demonstration is 1 in red that says choose 1, deal 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, or deal 4 damage to target creature. I think trying to lean a little more heavy into red for our lesson cards seems like a good idea, so that way it synergizes better with the Loyal Fire Sage, because the Firebending does only give red mana. If we take a look at our deck now, we can see that our average CMC is 2.1. 56% of our deck is red, 44% is blue, 33% is white. So I'll run 6 mountains, 5 islands, 5 plains, just to start. All right, and this is our initial deck list. 4 copies of Earth Kingdom Protectors, 4 copies of Firebending Lesson, 4 copies of Invasion Reinforcements, 4 copies of Accumulate Wisdom, 4 copies of First Time Flyer, 3 copies of Combustion Technique, a single copy of Iroh's Demonstration, 4 copies of Abandoned Attachments, 4 copies of Loyal Fire Sage, and finally our full playset of Sokka Tenacious Tactician. Then for our mana base, we're running 5 plains, 5 islands, 6 mountains, 4 copies of Mystic Monastery, and 4 copies of Perilous Landscape. And this is our initial deck list. So next we're going to hop into some test matches and start making adjustments from there. All right, and here we are going into game number 1. At this point, I'm about 30 minutes into recording, which means it took me about half an hour to make that deck list. But I was talking to the camera a lot, so I probably would have made this list in about 15 to 20 minutes if I was doing it outside of a recording. This opening hand seems pretty good. It looks like we'll have access to all 3 colors of mana that we need. We could even start with a turn 1 play. We could hold up mana for a Firebending Lesson. But I think the smarter thing to do is just to get down the Mystic Monastery. We'll do that. Next turn, we will put down our Perilous Landscape. Let's tap sack this. I think I'll grab an island here, and then we'll just pass. If our opponent plays a creature, we can potentially kill it with this Firebending Lesson, such as a Blight Belly Rat. We can kill that. Our opponent seems to be running a Toxic and or Proliferate deck. I need to lower the volume of my game a little bit. Okay, it's now turn 3. We don't have another land in hand for next turn for Sokka. But you know what? I'm gonna play out Loyal Fire Sage. I was greedy. I played out the Loyal Fire Sage and it died to a Drown in Ichor. I should have just used Abandoned Attachments the last turn. So I'm gonna use it now. I will Abandon Attachments and I will get rid of Combustion Technique, I think. We do hit a land, which is great. And from here, I think I'll just pass. Invasion Reinforcements has Flash, so if our opponent taps out, we'll probably just play that. All right. I'll go to try to cast the Invasion Reinforcements. I maybe should have just played it out during our turn in case our opponent is running counter spells, which are not uncommon in Dimir, Proliferate, Toxic decks. They do have a couple options. Luckily, our spell stuck. All right, well, here we're just going to play out Sokka. Unfortunately, we don't have any instant or sorcery cards to go alongside him, but I'm willing to bet that our opponent has more removal and that Sokka is going to die. Well, we swung in with both of our allies. We connect for 2. We set our opponent down to 18. Do they have the removal for Sokka? I'll say no blocks. We will take a hit from Bilious Skull Dweller, so we get a poison counter. Do they have removal? They're going to play out a Vraska. They're going to minus the Vraska and turn Sokka into a treasure. Okay, so what do I want to do here? We can kill the Vraska, which is nice. Tap this for a blue, I think. I'm going to play out the First Time Flyer and a Loyal Fire Sage. From here, we'll swing 2 damage of Vraska to kill it. And then next turn, we hope that we top deck a 1 mana instant or sorcery. So really just Firebending Lesson. Opponent's going to swing in with another Bilious Skull Dweller. I'll say no blocks. Take another point of damage. We get a second poison counter. They're going to use Prologue to Phyresis. Okay, we're up to 3 poison counters. Our opponent's going to draw 2 cards with the Distorted Curiosity. They're going to kill our Invasion Reinforcements with their Whisper of the Dross. And then they're going to exile our graveyard, which turns off the bonus that our first time flyer would have had. So that sucks. From here, we'll play out Sokka. I sequenced that wrong. I should have played the Earth Kingdom Protectors first. We'll play out the Earth Kingdom Protectors second. We'll swing out for 5 damage. Get our red mana from the Firebending. Deal 5, set our opponent to 11. And we end the turn. Sokka, unfortunately, will still die if our opponent has another Drown in Ichor, which is kind of a bummer. That gets around the Earth Kingdom Protectors. So what I'm thinking so far for the deck is that we need more instant and or sorcery cards. Our opponent's going to use another Whisper of the Dross. They're going to kill our other 1/1. We're now up to 5 poison counters. They're going to use Vraska's Fall. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker of the choice and gets a poison counter. Okay. I will sack. He only has 1 card in hand, 1 blue mana. I'll sack the Earth Kingdom Protectors. We're up to 6 poison counters. He can swing his Bilious Skull Dweller, but will he? He does not swing. We're going to cycle this Perilous Landscape for Jeskai. Nice. We draw into Accumulate Wisdom. That's really good. That triggers our prowess, and we'll also put a lesson card in the graveyard to make our first time flyer bigger as well. And I will grab another Accumulate Wisdom from the top 3 that we got to see. See, from here, if I swing, he has to double block Sokka. Both of his Skull Dwellers die. Yeah, he has to block Sokka, otherwise it's lethal. And that would have left him with no board. Okay, so far, not too bad. I think what I want to change is the amount of those protector cards that we have in the deck. We're going to cut 2 of the Earth Kingdom Protectors. So this way we can try to find 2 more instant or sorcery cards to throw into the deck. Preferably 2 lesson cards. I might just use Boomerang Basics. I was eyeing this card earlier. It's 1 blue for a sorcery that says return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you control that permanent, draw a card. So I think I'm going to go with Boomerang Basics. I think we're going to add 2 copies of Boomerang Basics and remove 2 copies of Earth Kingdom Protectors. Our mana base seemed fine. I think we had access to all 3 colors on turn 3, which is really good. Yeah, so I don't think we need to make any adjustments there. All right, so let's go try out another match. All right, here we are in game number 2. In our opening hand, this seems pretty good. We'll have access to all 3 colors of mana. We're going to start with a Perilous Landscape. We're going to tap, sack it. We'll go grab an island. And now we're chilling. For turn 2, I think we're just going to cast Invasion Reinforcements. I'm not going to wait for our opponent's turn to go ahead and cast it. We'll just get it down now. And then next turn to follow up, we'll probably just play Loyal Fire Sage. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll get down the Fire Sage. We'll swing in for 2. Our opponent takes a 2. They go down to 18. Our opponent casts Dovin, Hand of Control. 3 mana, 5 Loyalty Planeswalker. Artifact, instant, sorcery spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more to cast. Until your next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanent and opponent controls. The Loyal Fire Sage can't deal any damage right now, which is super lame. I think I'm just going to play the first time flyer, swing in for 2 against Dovin. Dovin goes down to 2 loyalty, and then I'm just going to end the turn. I'm going to hold up Invasion Reinforcements, and I'll hold up the Firebending Lesson as well. I really hope he plays something that I can kill with the Firebending Lesson. That'd be real nice. Oh, and our opponent scoops. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. That match didn't really tell us much. All it really did was let us know that our mana base is still good enough. Because we still had access to all 3 colors pretty early on. So no adjustments are necessary yet. All right, here we are in game number 3. Our opening hand seems pretty slow. But I think we can keep it. We're going to start with the turn 1 Mystic Monastery. We'll get that down. I think we're potentially going to hold up one of these Perilous Landscapes to cycle it away. Ooh, second Monastery is pretty nice. The question is, do I want to develop the first time flyer right now? I think I do, actually. I'm going to play the first time flyer, and then we'll end the turn. Because next turn, if our opponent plays a creature, we might be able to kill it with Combustion Technique. Ooh, like a mild-mannered librarian. And that'll be really good because that'll mean our first time flyer will get +1/+1. And we can just play out the Mystic Monastery here. And we're not being screwed by having tapped land. We can swing in for 2 in the air. Our opponent goes down to 20. That worked out perfectly. And now we can start cycling Perilous Landscapes or, discard it to draw some cards with abandoned attachments. Like, we got a lot of options here. I think I'm just going to play out one of the landscapes, develop a Loyal Fire Sage, and also play out Earth Kingdom Protectors. We'll attack in the air for 2 more damage, set our opponent down to 18, and then just end the turn. Next turn, we probably will use Abandoned Attachments to discard Perilous Landscape, get 2 additional draws. Our opponent's going to play Magnigoth sentry, something like that. 4/4 with reach, and that's kind of a big boy. A little bit concerning. Firebending Lesson, kicker cost is 4. This is an instant. On our attack, we can get the mana for it, so we don't have to play the Perilous Landscape if we don't want to. So I'm going to swing here and here. On the attack, we get the red mana from the Loyal Fire Sage. We're going to cast the Firebending Lesson with a kicker cost. We're going to kill the sentry. We'll deal 5 damage to it. And now we go to blockers. And we should be able to connect 2 more in the air, and they probably don't block the Loyal Fire Sage. So they take 5, they go down to 13. We could play the Perilous Landscape for turn, but I'm just going to end the turn. I'm going to hold this up as discard fodder for the abandoned attachments still. Our opponent's casting Exclusion Mage. 3 mana 2/2. When it enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Probably bounce the Fire Sage. Ooh, they bounced the Flyer. Okay. I told you having a Flyer in the deck would be very beneficial. They're more scared of this 1/2 Flyer than our 3/3. Alright, they're casting Felling Blow. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then that creature deals damage equal to its power target creature and opponent controls. We're going to sacrifice our Earth Kingdom Protectors to keep our Loyal Fire Sage alive. Nice. From here, we are going to abandon attachments. We're going to discard one of these Perilous Landscapes. We'll draw 2 cards. See, this landscape we're probably going to play out for the turn. Yes. On attack, we'll get 1 more red mana. If I have 4 mana, do I want to use both of these? Firebending Lesson, 4 mana. We don't have enough to kick this. Let's see if he wants to make this trade or not. He probably does make the trade. Yeah, so I'm going to use the floating red mana from the Firebending. We're going to flash in the Invasion reinforcements here. Go to damage. Those 2 will trade. We'll play out the first time Flyer and end the turn. We're looking okay. We have enough mana next turn to cast Firebending Lesson with the kicker again, which would be pretty nice. If we could draw into one of our Sokkas, that would be great. He has another sentry. Dude, he's going to be really upset that we have our answer for the sentry again already. Do I want to push damage? I think I do. We'll cast Firebending Lesson for its kicker. We're going to kill the sentry again. That will allow us to swing in with our first time Flyer. He takes a 2, he goes down to 11. He's going to play Circuitous Route. He's going to get 2 more lands. And he doesn't even have enough to draw a card off of the Spectral Sailor. Not until next turn. Next turn, he can draw 2 with the Sailor. Or he can just scoop now. All right. Well, you know what? I will take that. We managed to get a win without finding Sokka. And it was largely thanks to the first time Flyer connecting for a bunch of damage in the air. Seems good. So we're just going to roll right into the next match. All right, here we are in game number 4, and our opening hand looks beautiful because not only do we have Sokka, but we will have access to all 3 colors of mana. And we have an Earth Kingdom Protectors that we can set up before Sokka comes out, so that's pretty nice too. Yeah, honestly, this opening hand looks pretty nuts. And our opponent's opening hand did not look very good, apparently. I saw a mulligan out of the corner of my eye like 3 times. Unlucky. That's too bad. I really wanted to see what this hand was going to do. But a dub's a dub. We'll take it. That doesn't give us any information about the deck whatsoever, though. So it's going to roll into game number 5. All right, here is our opening hand for game number 5. And it is doable. We can make this work. We're going to start with a Mystic Monastery for our turn 1 land. Turn 2, we are going to have to go digging for some more mana. We're going to use Abandoned Attachments. Probably discard one of our first time Flyers. Or actually, we could discard... we could discard the Firebending Lesson if we wanted to. Discarding that puts a lesson card in the graveyard. No, we wouldn't have to do that. By casting the Abandoned Attachments, that would put a lesson card in the graveyard. Our opponent played Grist. I think I probably just want to kill this. 1/2 Death Touch. Whenever Grist or another creature you control enters, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, you may pay a green. If you do, exile Grist, then return to the battlefield transformed under your owner's control. Can they do that next turn already? I'm going to bet on no. I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to play out a first time Flyer. I don't think they're going to be able to transform Grist already next turn. The smarter play would have been to use Abandoned Attachments, discard one of the Flyers, and then draw into our lands. But I'm going to be greedy. Our opponent is going to Eaten Alive, our first time Flyer. They'll sacrifice their Grist to do it. I am okay with this. We draw into a Perilous Landscape, so we'll play that as our land for turn. We're going to Abandon Attachments. We'll discard one of our Firebending Lessons. We'll get to draw 2. And I will go ahead and tap sack Perilous Landscape. We'll go grab an island. All right, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Opponent's going to play Insidious Roots. Gross. These don't have reach, right? They don't. So I think we're just going to play the first time Flyer. Pass the turn. Probably cast Invasion Reinforcements during our opponent's end step. Insidious Root says whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a plant, then put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. About to cast Tyvar. Let's see, -3, mill 3. Then you may return a creature card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So you can bring back Grist. Eaten Alive is 1 black mana. They also mill a Reassembling Skeleton. Grist comes back. Do I want to just kill Grist right now? I don't think so. Actually, yes. Before they can transform it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, they don't have the mana for it. Okay, we'll still get to get rid of Grist. Right? No? What the hell happened? They just paid their last 2 mana to bring back the Reassembling Skeleton. Where did they get another green mana to be able to pay for Grist? That seems like some shenanigans to me. Well, that really sucks. We're in a bad spot. Our deck doesn't have any enchantment removal, and I don't think any of our spells can target planeswalkers. They cannot. So we're going to lose this game because we can't interact with our opponent. And 2 flying damage in the air is not going to be enough pressure to win us this game. There was an ally card that can destroy enchantments. Do I want to run it though? Inspired Insurgent. 1 and a white for a 2/2 human peasant ally. Pay 1, sack this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I could cut the Earth Kingdom Protectors down to 1 and then throw in a 1/of Inspired Insurgent. That keeps our ratios the same, and it's swapping a creature for a creature. That doesn't affect our creature to non-creature ratio at all either. Yeah, let's try that out. All right, here we are in game number 6. Our opening hand does not have access to red mana. However, all of the cards in our hand are blue, and we have double blue, so we're going to keep this. Our opponent's running 64 cards in their deck. They are mill. If I bounce the crab to their hand, they just replay it and then put down their land for turn. I'm going to full control here. I guess you can't react to someone putting down a land. And we just milled our Sokka. That's unfortunate. Our deck is not aggressive enough to beat down mill before they mill us out. That is my concern. Like, I can play out the first time flyer, but 2 damage every turn. It's going to take 10 turns to kill him. We're going to be dead in like 4. Second Ruin Crab is horrible. Are you serious? Second Ruin Crab? Like, their top 10? Oh, there goes our other Sokka. We are going to lose this because we don't have any of our removal spells. And we've milled 2 of them already. Mesmeric Orb, solve, sure. That's 3 copies of Sokka in the graveyard already. That is so unlucky. That is garbage. I'm gonna play out another first-time flyer. Bouncing the Ruin Crab doesn't actually do anything. That's so garbage. If I bounce it, they just replay it. It costs 1 mana. No removal, no Sokka. And there goes our 4th copy of Sokka. We're down to 33 cards in our library. Down to 30, down to 29. We find a Firebending Lesson. Let's see. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you control that permanent, draw a card. We can bounce the Mesmeric Orb. So just replay that. What does this do? Whenever this attacks, you may mill 2. Whenever 1 or more land cards put into your graveyard from your library, put them on the battlefield tapped. Crew for 1. They don't even have a creature to crew this with. If I bounce Mesmeric Orb, it doesn't help us either. I guess I'll bounce the Shredder. And I'm going to accumulate wisdom, try to find more removal. Oh, we can just draw 3 cards. I don't know if that's good, actually. We're now down to 26 cards in our library. We're going to mill 6 more next turn. I think we just lose the game. We only have 1 red mana available to us. We can kill, well, if we have to draw a land here, and then maybe we can kill one of these Ruin Crabs. But I can't use Abandoned Attachments. Invasion Reinforcements doesn't get through his blockers. We can kill a crab. That causes us to tap down for 5 cards. This is 7. We only have 13 cards left in our library. If he hits a land, that's 10. We're going to be down to 3 cards left in our library. 3 cards. We literally cannot win the game. That was really unlucky. If we could have found a Combustion Technique early, that could have killed one of the crabs. We could have found our 1/of Inspired Insurgent. That could have killed, or that could have destroyed the Mesmeric Orb, and that would have been really useful. Go down to 1 card left in our library. Dude, are you serious, though? He found double Ruin Crab. Oh, hello, Combustion Technique. You're kind of late, dude. Go ahead, deal 17 damage to the Ruin Crab. Thank you. Go ahead, flash in our Invasion Reinforcements, swing in for 4, set our opponent to 6, and concede. That was incredibly unlucky. The fact that they opened double crab within by turn 3, that's crazy. And then we milled all of our Sokkas, which is the only way we could have had enough burst damage to kill him before we got milled out. And the fact that we didn't find any of our removal early also sucked. Yeah, so we lost that game because we got unlucky and he got very lucky. It's not an easy matchup for our deck. It is one that we can win. So we didn't lose because the deck was incapable of winning. We just got unlucky on that one. So the deck does not need an adjustment. because we had answers. We did. Sokka could have given us enough pressure to win the game. Our one of to destroy the mesmeric orb would have been an answer. And we had removal spells that could have killed his crabs, but we didn't see them. So we had plenty of answers to win that match. We just did not find them. They all got milled. All right, here we are in another game. And our opponent scooped, because I took 5 seconds to see if my opening hand was good or not. Or theirs was just that bad. But I always assume it's just a lack of patience whenever my opponents scoop after I take 4 seconds to look at my hand. All right, well, it's another dub. Gonna pad our stats a little bit. All right, here we are in another game. Our opening hand is not good. We don't have all 3 colors, and we don't have any of our draw spells. We don't have any copies of Abandoned Attachments or Accumulate Wisdom, so I think we have to mulligan this. This hand looks much better. We're going to keep 6. We're definitely keeping our 3 lands. And I think I'm going to get rid of the Abandoned Attachments. Yeah, that works for me. And we'll put down a Mystic Monastery for turn 1. I don't want to use the Abandoned Attachments. There's no way we're going up against Mill again. So this needs another lesson card. We're going to Accumulate Wisdom. We're going to grab Sokka. Next turn, we can kill the crab. Dude, it is turn 1. He's running like 90 cards in his library. More than 90. Still opens with Ruin Crab in his opening hand. That is insane. That is garbage. And it is insane. We're going to kill the crab. That is so ridiculous. By killing the crab, we now have 3 lesson cards in our graveyard, which means Accumulate Wisdom is completely turned on. And so instead of just looking at the top 3, we will get to draw 3 cards with Accumulate Wisdom. So that's going to be really good for next turn. We do hit our land drop, though. I'm just going to play out Perilous Landscape. We're going to draw 3. Nice. And I'm going to play out Invasion Reinforcements. That'll give us 2 allies. Next turn, we can play out Sokka. And we still have 1 mana available to us. We might bounce something with Boomerang Basics. Or maybe we just hold off so we can double spell, get double prowess triggers the turn after we play Sokka. Yeah, we'll just play out Sokka here. Both of our creatures have Menace. We can swing in, connect for 2 damage here. Set our opponent to 18. That's nice. That's something at least. Next turn, we can pop off a little bit. We can kill one of his creatures and bounce another. Probably kill the Merfolk Secret Keeper because it's a bigger blocker, and then bounce one of the Persistent Petitioners. And that should be a lot of damage. Yeah, let's kill the Secret Keeper. That's going to trigger Sokka. First time that we really get to see Sokka in action. We're going to Boomerang one of the Petitioners. Nice. And I'll play out this first time flyer. We'll swing in with our 5/5 Sokka and 2 3/3s. Nice. Connect for 11, set our opponent down to 7. Our deck is doing much better this time around compared to the first mill game. However, our opponent has missed, I think, two land drops, so that definitely is a factor. And our opponent scoops. So our opponent was missing land drops. That definitely was a factor. But like I said, our deck does have the capabilities of beating mill. They had a crab in their opening hand, but we did have removal with Combustion Technique this time. And we were able to find one of our Sokkas, which applied enough pressure that our opponent scooped just now. We were able to connect for 11 damage. That's a lot. We're able to swing for half of our opponent's life in a single turn thanks to Sokka. And next turn, we're going to be able to swing in for a pretty decent amount as well still. Even if we didn't find another non-creature spell to cast. We've got a lot of bodies. They've all got Menace. We're going to get our opponent really, really close to lethal range. Hey, but you know what? I'm going to take that. That was good. Our deck, it did good. All right, here we are on my untapped account. As you can see, we went 6-2 with the deck. That is a 75% win rate across 3 different versions of the deck list. The only real changes we did was cut down on the number of Earth Kingdom Protectors that we had from our initial deck list. We cut out 2 of them to add in 2 copies of Boomerang Basics, and we cut out a 3rd copy of Earth Kingdom Protectors to add in a 1 of Inspired Insurgent. And honestly, I think the deck, it felt fine. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point for the deck. With a win rate of 6-2 and a deck list that feels pretty solid in our matches, this is probably about the time where I would stop my deck testing and then start recording a YouTube video to show people this deck list. And maybe make 1 or 2 tiny little tweaks in between the matches for my next recording session. But I think we're good. So that was my process, start to finish, building a deck from scratch, picking out 1 card to build around, making an initial deck list, doing some play testing, making some more adjustments, and then finally deciding that the deck list is in a good spot. It is now viable. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope it was informative about what kind of things you should be thinking about when building your own decks. The thought process is going to vary from deck to deck, depending on what kind of archetype you're building. You're going to be looking for different things as you're playing the game. Even basic things like the amount of lands that you're running is going to be different, right? But again, I hope this was useful for you guys. If there's one really big takeaway that I would say to keep in mind from this video and this deck list specifically, when you're deck building, whether you are winning or losing, you need to ask yourself, why did I win that match? Or why did I lose that match? Because even game number 1 that we had with this deck, we won. And I immediately went to go make a change. Because we got to a point where our main win con, Sokka, was out on the field, but I had no way to trigger his ability. I didn't have any more non-creature spells in our hand, so I knew that I wanted to have more of them to get that synergy going. And even when we lost our first game against the mill deck, I did not make a change, because I knew the deck had the answers to potentially win that matchup. We just didn't find them. So really try to keep that in mind. Ask yourself, win or lose, why did I win or lose, and do I need to make a change, yes or no? But with all of that said, if you liked the video, you should like the video. If you liked me, the video, and you like Magic the Gathering, you should consider subscribing to the channel because that will get you more of all three. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.